They unify people, they bring people together, they get people activated in their community. They give people a reason to have hope.
I was running the skiff down with the sun behind me, streaming down a long corridor with sweet gums and sycamores and maples. I just turned the engine off and stopped.
There's things that are hard to quantify and put a dollar amount on, like what's the value of clean air, clean water, and the sense of peace and solitude we get from being in nature.
There is just a calling from the forest. Who doesn't love trees, really?
Without trees, there would be no life for human beings.
What's not to like? You know, they give you shade, they give you lumber.
Trees make the places we live feel like home. And that, to me, is huge.
The tree planting especially is symbolic. It's rebuilding, rebirth, and growth.
Trees, Lord, yes. And trees do a lot of things for us, a whole lot.
Planting trees isn't the only thing we can do to clean our air and water and make the climate more livable for people. Nor is it the only thing we can do to rebuild our communities, reduce crime, improve health, spur the economy, and stir the imagination. But it just might be the simplest thing.
We changed it. We changed this system from old-growth forest to pavement and rooftops and parking lots.
The human environment has made it so that the natural environment can't always exist in a city as large as Los Angeles.
They used to occupy 1.5 million acres, but then after all the logging and mining, it was reduced to I think 50,000 acres or something like that. It's not much.
From inner-city Los Angeles to rural Appalachia, the Arbor Day Foundation has been planting millions of trees for nearly 5 decades. Last year alone, the Arbor Day Foundation helped plant 9.6 million trees. That's the equivalent of planting all the trees in New York's Central Park every single day.
Clean air and clean water are some universal things that trees help provide.
The tree roots and the systems actually act as a filter. They trap the sediment that from erosion from upslope. There's a saying, we all live downstream, and clean water here provides clean water further down. It just benefits the whole society if we start here.
We refer to that wooded watershed, that 64,000 square miles with only 50,000 people in it. We refer to it as the Great Green Filter because it caught all that rain.
Planting trees really is a simple and cost-effective solution to many of our environmental problems that we're facing, believe it or not.
The first step was basically to fence about a 75 to 100 foot area away from the creek so that the animals were not getting in and out of the creek. The next phase was to plant native trees in that buffer. I grew some white oaks from the acorns from that big tree over there.
We're currently planting about over 2,000 trees a year. We get people who live in Koreatown, when they see cleaner streets and more trees, it does demonstrate that people care, and there are a lot less crimes.
These connections that we have with nature, it's all interconnected.
There's nothing quite like the pleasure of watching something grow and knowing that you had a stake in that, knowing that you helped dig the hole, build the berm, shake out the root ball. There's nothing quite like that.
You know, we've been back to some of our sites that are now 10 and 20 years old, and the evidence of the mining history is barely there. And so that's keeping your eye on the prize and just knowing what these trees are going to do for the future. Even if we don't get to see it, still a worthy endeavor for future generations.
We are not trying to turn this system back into wilderness, not at all. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's just not going to happen. Are we wise enough to live next to a really stunning natural resource, to live with it and take care of it?
Trees really are this unifying force. At our volunteer events, we've had kind of extreme environmentalists and then people who work for the coal industry, you know, planting trees side by side. I think they are something that everybody can agree on.
Now we're going big. Because going big is what the world needs. Trees give us the essentials for life. And the essentials for life are at risk. Clean air to breathe. Clean water to drink. A climate that's livable. If ever there was a time to plant trees, now is that time. This is the time for trees.